Today we're reviewing two fragrances from Father & Sons, namely Silver and Connoisseur. I will explain the note breakdown and the presentation of the fragrance and what do we smell from the fragrance itself. With that, let's get on to the video. First, let's start with Connoisseur. The top notes are lavender and green coriander. The middle notes are green notes, orange blossom, and neroli, and the base notes are cedar and patchouli. Lastly, for Silver's note breakdown, the top notes are bergamot and mandarin orange, followed by the middle notes of green tea and black currant, with the base notes of musk, petitgrain, sandalwood, and galbanum. As for the presentation, the bottle comes outside of these slide boxes, which looks very beautiful, with the color navy blue as well. And the bottles are inspired from the label, which gives you that very aesthetic and pleasing bottles. So what do I smell from both of these fragrances? So let's start first with Connoisseur. Get my tester strip. And let's also check its atomizer. Good atomizer. Yeah, it opens up very green, lavender, and spicy. Somewhat spicy from the coriander. Okay, then the initial dry down dries into this very green and somewhat floral-esque vibe, definitely coming from the orange blossom and neroli. Then the dry down smells very green and some of a spicy base coming from the coriander. It also has these floral and woody undertones. This fragrance screams springtime. This is really great for spring. This is very underrated. This is a clone of Gucci Guilty Black, which is not really discontinued but really hard to find. I'd say this is around 85 to 90% close to the original. And lastly, for Silver. Let's set this up. Okay, yeah. So it opens up very green and definitely citrusy. And you also get this kind of melony vibe coming from the black currant and definitely from the citruses as well. I'm really getting this melony vibe, even there's no melon in the note breakdown. So after the initial dry down, this turns into a very green tea and black currant prominent fragrance, yeah. You can definitely smell some inkiness here, which is also present in the original Creed Silver Mountain Water. But for this one, the inkiness and of course the musk here are somewhat toned down. Just like in the original, the scent is somewhat linear as well. Yeah, definitely great. I'd say this is around 85 to 90% close, or maybe 80 to 85. Not really sure. So what are my concerns about these fragrances? So Connoisseur cannot be also for everyone because some people can get turned off by the green notes in here as well. Just like some known fragrances like Carolina Herrera 212 NYC. A lot of people are really scared to buy that fragrance because of the grass notes. But for me, green notes and grass notes are really, really underrated and smells great. It takes a lot of time really to like those fragrances or that specific note, the green notes. But if you try to appreciate it, it smells really, really great. As for Silver, my concern is also it's being linear and it doesn't have really depth. But it's not Father & Son's fault, it's actually the fragrance itself. So Silver in general doesn't really have depth, just like the original. And it's somewhat linear also, it tends to get boring for some people. And also, the quality obviously here is very far apart from the original, especially from the House of Creed. So the House of Creed, if you don't know, makes their product from high quality ingredients, like they travel all around the world to get some expensive mandarins, some expensive plum and other stuff. So the quality from this and that is day and night. But this doesn't mean this is bad, it's really great for its price. So a quick rundown, both of these fragrances are really, really great for its price. The price composition is really hard to believe that you can have like 80% of Creed Silver Mountain under probably 2,000 pesos or under 1K if there's vouchers available for this. So who could wear this fragrance? In my opinion, anyone can wear this fragrance. Definitely, even from young people or even mature people, from pushing 25s and above. And I think this fragrance isn't restrictive or doesn't have a specific dress code. At least for silver. Silver, you can definitely get away from wearing it from casual. I really suggest to wear this on formal events because this fragrance speaks or shouts elegance and sophistication. As for Connoisseur, I think you can get away with any outfit for this, even dressing up or dressing down. Even if you're at your house, I think this is really great. So, both of these fragrances are very, very versatile, and for me, it can be worn throughout the year, if specifically here in the Philippines. But in other countries, you can definitely get away with both of these fragrances in fall, but definitely not in winter. If I could rate both of these fragrances, I would rate Silver an 8.5 out of 10 and Connoisseur a 9 out of 10. Why is that? Let's start with Silver. So, the problem with Silver, just like on the original, the fragrance somewhat lacks depth and it's very linear. After the initial dry down, it somewhat stays the same until the end of the dry down. You won't really see any differences, just like other fragrances like, oh, in the 4th hour mark, there's some lavender or some vanilla in here. Whereas Silver doesn't really have that. That's a big problem with the DNA. But it's still great though, don't mind me. And lastly, for Connoisseur, I would rate it definitely an 8.75 out of 10. Why? I really like green fragrances like Green Irish Tweed and Aspen and other green fragrances. So, I think this is a really great green fragrance, especially if you've tried Gucci Guilty Black and cannot find or looking for an alternative. I think this is a great pickup. Well, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any concerns about the fragrances I've mentioned or need help with fragrances, let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you on the flip side.